So I decided today to do a little bit of field botany, or some type of it. I don't know. This is a goldenrod, which goldenrods or solidago is a genus of flowering plants in the family Asteraceae. Most are herbaceous perennial species found in open areas such as meadows, prairies, and savannas. They are mostly native to North America, including Mexico, and a few species are native to South America and Eurasia. This over here is a great mullein. I'm forgetting the scientific name, but I'll put it up. And this is Rosie, my baby girl, and she has no interest. But this, I love the fuzzy leaves of the great mullein, and you'll see that there are goldenrods everywhere that are yet to bloom. But a lot of these are goldenrod. We'll check out some grapevines today, or what seem to be plants in the grapevine family, or related to grapevines. You'll see these massive trees. I really love them, and they provide a lot of shade for some ferns that we'll look at in a bit. Back here, you'll see this wall of just shiny leaved plants, and I was a little bit stumped at first as to what this was, but I believe these are ash trees of some kind. I don't know what kind of ash. I think there are a couple kinds, but they are really cool, and I love the shiny leaves. Over here, you'll see what I think is a false Virginia creeper. But it's in the grapevine family. Its scientific name is Parthenocissus incerta. And down here we have Glaucoma hederaceae, which is an aromatic perennial. It's also known as the creeping Charlie. It's in the mint family Lamiaceae. And back here we have some Oxalis, or wood sorrel, which both of them are edible, actually. The creeping Charlie, it's used as a salad green in many countries. European settlers carried it around the world, and it has become well established and naturalized in a lot of places. It is also considered an aggressive invasive in woodlands and lawns in some parts of North America, so I'm actually not sure if it's invasive or not. Over here, we'll take a look at what I believe to be the vine Vitis riparia. It's another grapevine that's native to this area. We'll also notice some actual Virginia creeper, which is another grapevine. And it's growing all over everything. I think there's a couple different grapevines at play in this ecosystem. And now we'll be heading into the understory of these giant trees that I showed earlier. And underneath, there's a little patch of land where the humidity and everything is, and the sunlight is just right for these ferns to grow. And they're really beautiful. You'll see my landlord dumped a lot of furniture here, so it doesn't look very nice right here where I am. But once we go deeper, you'll see why I like it under here. There's a lot of the fern known as Dryopteris marginalis, vernacularly known as the marginal shield fern or the marginal wood fern, and I really love how many there are back here. Like, this is just like a secret little place that nobody can really go other than people who live in my building. And it's hidden from, the world, and these ferns are just beautiful. You'll see that some have dried up because of either it was too dry or too sunny. Yeah, like over back there, you'll see some have burnt to a crisp, it seems. But this spring, it was just filled with these ferns. This plant comes from the Andes Mountains, where it gets very cold sometimes, and it's at such a high elevation that the UV rays are very intense. Its growth form is awesome and similar to another plant that I covered, Austrocylindra puncha lagopus. The areta forms dense, cushion-like mats that can cover several square meters, and these cushions are a survival strategy, helping the plant conserve moisture and protect itself from intense UV radiation and freezing temperatures. I love plants that look like this, whether it be moss, lithops, conophytum, cacti, or lichen even. I've always found it fascinating when a plant adds a texture to a landscape in such a way where it seems to mold itself to the shape of the ground. Despite its harsh habitat, Azarella compacta supports a variety of life, including insects and small animals that find shelter in its dense cushions, making it an important part of the ecosystem in the high Andes. Because this plant hails from the carrot family, it's been covered in a video by Crime Pays dubbed the weirdest friggin' carrot you'll ever see, and I suggest you check it out if it interests you. Another cool plant is the Drosera carnivorous plants. They're commonly referred to as sundews, and they're known for their glistening, sticky tentacles. These tiny glandular structures secrete a mucilaginous substance that resembles drops of dew, hence the name. There are over 200 species of sundew found across the globe, from tropical rainforests to temperate bogs. So let's take a closer look at some cool ones. Um, Drosera capensis, the Cape sundew, native to South Africa, has long, narrow leaves that are covered with glandular hairs that produce a sticky substance to trap and digest insects. This species is known for its resilience and adaptability. Drosera rotundifolia, or the roundleaf sundew, is a temperate species found in boggy regions across Europe, North America, and Asia, and its small, round leaves are covered in tentacles that form a charming rosette, perfect for catching small insects. When when an insect lands on these plants, both of them, the tentacles coated in a sticky glue-like substance bend towards the prey and trap it. The plant then secretes digestive enzymes that break down the insect and absorb its nutrients. The digestion process can take several days depending on the size of the prey. The nutrients are absorbed through the specialized cells in the leaf, allowing the plant to thrive in nutrient-poor environments where other plants might struggle. The sundews are incredibly diverse and can be found in a variety of habitats, from tropical swamps to temperate bogs. Each species has adapted to its specific environment, showcasing um, a wide range of forms and behaviors. Unfortunately, many sundew habitats are under threat from human activities and climate change, and protecting these environments is crucial for the survival of these plants. Another cool plant that I gotta mention is Welwitschia mirabilis or mirabilis. Um, it's often referred to as a living fossil, and it's the only species in its genus and family, Welwitchiaceae, and has remained largely unchanged for millions of years, dating back to the Mesozoic era. So, if you were ever wondering what would plants look like when dinosaurs were alive, this plant answers that question. We know this because we have found fossils of this plant that closely resemble its current form. In fact, we have found fossils of this plant in Brazil, even though it's native to Africa, because this plant predates the splitting of the continents. The plant has only two long, strap-like leaves that continue to grow throughout its entire life. And these leaves can reach lengths of up to 13 feet and become twisted and frayed over time. One of the reasons why Welwitschia may have remained unchanged for so long is they can live for a very long time. Some specimens are estimated to be over 1,000 years old, making it one of the longest living plants on Earth. Welwitschia is dioecious, meaning there are separate male and female plants. Male plants produce cones that release pollen, while female plants produce seed cones that eventually release seeds when they're mature. The plant's reproductive cycle is very slow and occurs infrequently. Strange enough, this plant is related to the conifers and cycads, which are gymnosperms, and provides a valuable evolutionary link between gymnosperms and flowering plants, or angiosperms, which makes sense because the cones made by this plant do resemble cones that one would find on a conifer. And it's really interesting that this plant does not look in any way like a conifer or like a cycad, and it's just very unique and awesome.
So there's this little beetle, and when I went to harvest one of my auto flowers, I noticed that there was a hole in the bottom of the root ball, and I like went poking around because I was curious what was in there, and one of these little black beetles was making a home in one of my pots. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I mean, beetles don't really bother me. I mean, there's not like swarms of them or anything, but I do live pretty close to kind of a foresty region, so bugs are to be expected. And honestly, I kind of like spiders being around my cactus because it kind of I feel like they'll probably eat like small mites and different things that I don't want fucking with my cactus. You can see that my Pachypodium brevical has shown a lot of growth since the last time you've seen it. And I just love this little thing, honestly. I'm like obsessed. I kind of want to get more of them because it's just a beautiful plant and it's growing so much faster than all my other cactus. I'm still kind of holding out hope for this Hexadrophorus, but it does seem to be developing more weird coloration around it. And I'm not sure if it's going to make it. It hasn't really shown much promise. But everything else is really doing pretty well in here. I got this new little I forgot what this was, but I really like it. It kind of it appears to be. I did look it up what this was, and I'll probably tell you in another episode. But I like how it's kind of giving a little bit of minimal shade to these guys, sort of like a desert shrub would. And I guess I'm just kind of trying to mimic that sort of desert shrub vibe. The Areocarpus is still doing good. She's still hanging in there. And so is my Copiapoa. I actually checked this one for roots the other day, see how it was doing. This one right here. And she's putting out new roots, so I'm really happy about that. Over here you'll see that I harvested my harvested 2 of my pot plants, and the little experiment that I had going where I had 4 autoflowers growing in one didn't really go very well because 3 of them were males and I just ended up having to take them out. And by that time this one female had already been put into premature flower, so I think I'm only gonna get like maybe one nug out of that plant, whereas my other 2 plants up there they were kind of more of a yield than just one singular nug. But I got another project going over here with this cool pot I got from JMN Pottery on Etsy. I really love this pot. Oh my goodness, the spikes. And I'm growing another little autoflower in here. This is a begonia that I got from the store. And I just really like how this little begonia looks. It's not a desert plant or anything, and I don't really know much about begonias, but I just really liked the look of this plant, and I think it makes little pink flowers, and I'm excited to see that if it happens. My cactus projects are all still going well in there, and yeah, that's just like a little update on my plants. There's 2 cactus that are kind of in cactus purgatory over here on the windowsill because they're both parodias and I'm not sure how they're doing. Both of them kind of have certain things going on with them where I don't want them around my other plants. This one is kind of like shrinking around the base, and I'm not exactly sure if it's just natural kind of like corking or if it's rot, so I'm just kind of keeping it over here. And this one just does not seem to be growing, and it's kind of shrinking if anything, so I was thinking maybe it's getting too much light and not enough water, so I'll put it in the window and see if it helps. And yeah, that's a little update on my indoor garden. Everything's going pretty well. I have a couple new plants coming in the mail from my older brother, which I'm excited about because he visited East Austin Succulents in Texas, and I've seen videos of their place, and I'm really excited to see what he got me.
If you recognized any of the plants in the beginning of this video, or you think that I made a mistake in identifying any of them, I would love if you let me know. Honestly, it's a learning process. I mean, I'm not a seasoned botanist, and I really have a passion for it, going out and learning what plants are native to my hometown, and any information into what those plants could be uh, would be really welcome. Um, I commented on a channel that a video of a channel that I love called Cookies Cacti, just showing support, and I can't believe it, but she replied to my comment, and she said the same thing, which is that we're all learning together, and I think that is important um, to get out there, because I feel that it might be a barrier for some people getting into plants, um, just thinking that just being overwhelmed, thinking that they don't know anything, and and I oftentimes personally deal with thoughts of feeling like uh, I might not have the most knowledge. I might not be the best vessel, but I think that doing what you can to raise awareness and it and educate people in plants is a worthwhile endeavor. And you know, Crime Pays but Botany Doesn't is a channel I've mentioned, and I think that something about like a heavily tattooed guy talking knowledgeably about plants, it got me into plants, and it started me thinking that if I ever get to a place where I know what I'm talking about, uh, I could be that to somebody else. And eventually we're gonna have to get back to the days of um, farming your own food, you know, uh, and becoming more in touch with the land, or else we'll just we won't make it. But you know, I encourage you to not think you don't know anything, because you might know more than you think, more than other people have bothered to learn. And I often surprise myself of my own ignorance of the plants around me. When I first started in botany, my passion was cactus and succulents, which there are none of where I live. But I think it was my gateway into just loving plants in general. And I think that a lot of people um, only care for plants that are useful uh, in a sort of consumable way, because of the way that our culture is in the States. If a plant doesn't serve you, a lot of people aren't interested. Whether it be like a edible food or a drug. I think that those plants are beautiful, and a plant isn't less worthy of love and praise just because it's consumable. But I think that being passionate about plants that don't serve you and just serve, well, I mean, and it's weird that I say that, because even if a plant is not consumable, it still serves you as part of the ecosystem that it belongs to. And even if it's not as observable, um, every plant benefits you. And yeah, I know I haven't made a video in a while, but I plan to be more on it. And I hope you guys have a good one.